In New Orleans last night, Vice President Agnew held a news conference. The Vice President talked about the demonstration Saturday in Washington.
The American people must not be misled simply because some 200,000 demonstrators marched in the streets of Washington. After all, they're less than 2% of our population. I think a lot of them are well motivated but confused.
200,000 demonstrators would be even less than Agnew's figure, closer to 1/10% of the U.S. population. The Vice President says he agrees with the idea of dissent, but not Saturday's demonstration, which the Vice President says was against the administration policy on Vietnam, which Mr. Agnew says is bringing the troops home. At Cheyenne, Wyoming last night, an Air Force transport plane crashed. All 5 men on board were killed. The Air Force transport was heading back to its base at Cheyenne when it crashed. Helen Hayes is in a hospital in Washington with lung trouble. In Arlington, Massachusetts last night, Frank Fontaine, Crazy Guggenheim, announced he is filing bankruptcy papers. Fontaine's lawyer says he owes $850,000, including nearly $500,000 in federal income taxes. Striking workers of the Railway Express Agency will be going back to the job today as negotiations start up again on their contract. The U.S. Parole Board in Washington today takes up another application for parole from Billy Saul Estes. Estes is serving 15 years for fraud in connection with loans on fertilizer tanks that didn't exist. Secretary of State Rogers leaves this morning on his 2-week tour of the Middle East. President Nixon this morning speaks to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on the state of the U.S. economy. Life magazine says Red China's Chairman Mao would like to have President Nixon visit Peking and that President Nixon would like to go. In Albany, New York last night, Senator Birch Bayh, the Democrat from Indiana, was asked if he might possibly be a candidate for vice president in '72.
I don't think anybody in his right mind runs for the vice presidency. I don't want to be somebody else's Spiro Agnew.
On a more serious note, Senator Bayh says he feels the president doesn't want Vietnam to become a political issue in '72, but Senator Bayh says why not get the troops home this December instead of aiming for just before election.